So hi Frank, thank you for coming on the podcast today. So just a quick intro on myself. So work for Eurobase. Obviously, I manage the Microsoft Dynamics part for our team in Germany. To start, if you can perhaps give me a bit of a short introduction to yourself, and I suppose a bit of a run through of your career.
Yeah, okay. Um, it's not doable in 2 sentences. I make
Yeah.
it in 5 sentences
Yeah.
because I'm a little bit older. I'm in the Navision and BC area since 1998.
Mhm.
So I started already with a DOS version. I started as developer, then I was a consultant, and after that I was a project manager, mostly international projects. And yes, and since many years, since 1998, we had a company. At the beginning, it was only a company for having some freelancers together, which shared a secretary. So, and after the years, we got the company, and I sold it before 3 years. Um, then I joined the company which sold us, bought us at that time, and after 2.5 years, I founded a new company, and we concentrate us right now on bigger, demanding international projects with
Yeah.
many sites. So that's what we are doing. In addition, I also founded, together with 3 other colleagues, I founded Directions EMEA, and we started quite soon, before nearby 20 years now.
Yeah.
And we have now in that area, we have now not only Directions EMEA, we are responsible for Directions Asia, Days of Knowledge, and so on. So
Nice.
yeah, as I said, it's longer
Quick
because
summary.
I'm
No,
a
you're
little
fine.
bit longer in the market.
No,
Yeah.
no worries at all. And what kind of led you, or like, the very start, when you look back to when you first started working with Navision,
Yeah.
what was it kind of led you to that? What was it that interested you to work in, I suppose, the Microsoft space?
Yeah, it was because Navision was the first tool which you had not always to develop the same things at the same again and again and again. For example, you don't have the need to develop the printing of a bill always again and something
Yeah.
like that. And that was really the first. And I was before a developer for commercial programs, and it was very boring to do always the same stuff. And that was
Yeah.
the first product which were different in that case.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. And what's your experience been with, like, Germany? You mentioned obviously you work on international projects.
Yeah.
How have you found working in Germany, particularly within sort of Dynamics?
Yes, I worked in Germany, and I don't know how many countries I already visited for business.
Yeah.
But Germany is a little bit special because we are, if you compare it to smaller countries like Denmark, Netherlands, or something like that, if the company gets bigger, they have to
Yeah.
deal with other countries. And in Germany, you don't have the need to, because we are 80 million, and you can sell easily for a long time your products only in Germany. And that's the reason why they want to have the customers want to have German speaking stuff, and if you are serving them, there is a really big need that you speak German. That's a big difference.
Yeah, I've seen that myself. I think it's quite rare that as a recruiter will have a role that isn't German speaking in Germany.
Yeah.
Because you said, like, the companies are normally focused around there. And cool. And I'd imagine you've seen a lot of changes, but what have you seen any particular changes between, from when you started to where you are here?
Yeah.
And that's,
Yes.
with the market?
There are huge changes. When we started our company, we started it with 5 developers and 1 secretary. And over the time, so we had a ratio of 100% developers, no consultants at the beginning.
Right.
And that was not only in our company, but you had seen that the ratio between developers and consultants had changed drastically, because more and more modules are already there, and you can use add-ons and something like that. So right now you need way more consultants than developers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. And just kind of going on to like the hiring landscape of it, how do you find, how are you finding the current landscape from obviously your point of view for bringing people in? I know obviously a year ago it was quite challenging. How are you finding it at the moment?
For me, it's a little bit better, I think, because my network is quite good, and over the years and working with directions, I know so many people that if I write a LinkedIn post and say I want to have people in that area, I normally get somebody, but I know it's normally very, very difficult to get the right people and the right skills. So it's what we quite often have done, and also in the bigger company I was the last 2 years, we created there an academy to
Nice,
train our own people, so that we had looked for people which came directly when they finished school. They came to us, and we trained them 1 year, and that was a good opportunity to get good people.
Yeah, definitely. And I've seen quite a few consultancies start to do that, I think, because it can be quite difficult to find highly skilled people. And, you know, the market is so competitive, like they're getting so many offers. I think training people from the beginning is such a good way to invest in talent in your company as well. So perfect. And I know you said obviously it's different because you've got such a strong network, but do you ever find any common challenges when you need to bring people on, say, you know, finding German speakers or people in the right location, or people, say, just wanting fully remote?
I'm also there in a better position than many German partners, because we have international projects. Right now, this week I will sign a contract with a new employee, and he's only English speaking. So and I don't care if he's only English speaking, because we will use him as a project manager for international projects. But I understand it, and it's really a challenge to find all these German-speaking people. It's not easy, really not easy.
Yeah, definitely not. And have you noticed a shift in demand for certain skills? You obviously mentioned already, like at the beginning, there was a huge demand for developers. Now it's swung to consultants. Have you seen particular skills which are now becoming more in demand?
Yes. I think you should have right now ways more process knowledge of an industry than before. With you will see that in a few years, and right now it started with AI. You will see that many of the simple tasks you normally have in a company can be done by AI. What not can be done right now is to create good processes and be an advisor for companies how to create these processes. And if you have there a better feeling, then you are needed for a very, very long time. In addition, the second point is if you are good about managing and handling data by themselves, that is also a job which will be more and more important, because you have not only one system, ERP system, like you had in the past. You have now Power Apps, Power BI, and many, many, many tools. And all these tools, the base of these tools is data. And it is not important that the customer normally don't care any longer if a process will be handled in an ERP system or something like that. For the customer, it's only important that the data is handled in the right way and he can work with this data.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think there's obviously so much AI talk, so it's naturally going to start progressing that way into data and things like that, isn't it? So yeah, perfect. And then I know this, you know, might be a little while back, but in terms of your experiences perhaps with like job hunting, or even from experiences you've maybe from, you know, I imagine you speak to so many people who are looking for jobs. Do you see any common frustrations that people have from the other side? So when they're looking for new roles, have you seen things which perhaps are difficult for them to overcome in finding new jobs?
It is sometimes difficult because what you learn in school and what is needed is sometimes not the same, or so there is no match. And the problem, the first 1, 2, 3 years are really difficult for the new people which are coming fresh from studying, and so we as companies who hire people want to have very good skilled people from the beginning on. And that is difficult. And I would give to people who finish school and say, okay, now I want to go to work, they should try to learn a little bit about AI. I would recommend that at least, and processes. If they are going and send a CV to a company, I think it will be very, very helpful if they have a little bit knowledge about the processes which will be handled in that company.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good. I think, as you mentioned, like companies just want skilled people, ideally. So it's how does someone kind of start? And obviously that's why academies are so great, because it gives people those opportunities to be on the ladder and kind of work their way up, which is good. And from your experience with hiring processes, obviously there's quite probably a standard of, first conversations, sometimes technical challenges. Do you think there's any parts of the hiring process at the moment that are outdated that you think need to be changed up?
If you would be a candidate for me and I would talk with you, that is completely different than what I've seen in the past with in other companies, and I think that is a little bit of the future what we are doing. I don't want to be arrogant, so but no, for me it is way more important that the people are fit in the team. So these skills which you normally bring with you automatically. I always say we can train everybody. If I see that somebody has learned in the past quite good, and so I'm very sure that we can train them in a way that they can do their job. For me, the other skills are way more important, like empathy and something like that. If I don't like the candidate at all, I will not hire him, even if it's the best guy with all the skills what he has in technical wise or consulting wise. I would not hire. So that's maybe different. And I think, and I talked now with some people from other partners, and they say nearby the same to me.
No, I can say I probably felt that as well. I think obviously for us, when we speak to people, we're listening for their technical skills, but also if they're going to fit into a team, and like if someone is got lots of energy and enthusiastic versus someone who's just looking for another job. People who are enthusiastic and want to be part of the team and be social, that's such a massive thing. So it's a fair point. And talk about, like, obviously for new people, or not new, anyone really looking at roles, do you think that, how comfortable did you feel about negotiating salary, when you look back, and do you think companies are transparent about that these days, or is it always a bit of a topic which is hidden until the end?
It is also. I'm here in a better position, as I said. We only we with our company, we want to steer only big international projects. That means I need very, very talented and very high skilled people. So I'm aware that these people are not cheap. So I have not, but even also from talks with other people, it is sometimes it is really difficult for other people to talk about salaries and something like that. And I think that's a mistake. I am normally, if I go in a call, I normally have my expectation before. I know I want to give them that amount of money, or that amount of money, and that amount of money. And if we are in the near of that, maybe plus minus 5 to 10%, then all is okay. And if I normally ask also the candidates what they want to have, and that's for me a bad sign if the candidate does not know what he wants. That's also a tip for a candidate. they should inform themselves before they go in an interview with somebody. They should know what they want to have. And also on that side, that's also for me a bad sign. I make now an example. I say to a candidate, okay, I would give you 50,000. And he says to me, or he says at the beginning, I want to have 70,000. I say, okay, I want to give you 50,000. And he said, okay, then I take 50,000. That's not good.
No, it's not a good sign.
No.
Is it?
No. And therefore, that is something I think both parties have to think before what they want to give to people upfront. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think you're right. Obviously, it talk about companies being transparent, but also candidates need to be transparent as well, because otherwise you're just going to get to a mismatch. And also, it sometimes feels early to talk about salary in like a first stage. And like you said, you're not necessarily committing to like a number, but if you're not in the ballpark, it's where do you go from there? So you need to make sure you're aligned from the beginning almost.
I do it normally in that way that I have the first interview with the candidate, and there as I said, I check only if the social skills are in that way. I want to have that, or we want to have that. If that is okay, we go to the second interview, and there normally I take somebody from the department where I think he will work. I take with me in the interview, and then we talk about money. And then we maybe talk also about some technical stuff or something like that. So, but as I said, I know exactly at that point what I want to give somebody.
Yeah. So, and it's always a conversation you want to have throughout the whole process, isn't it? Because sometimes people, it changes because they might think the role's more challenging, so they're going to ask a bit more. So it's always good to have those conversations as you go through rather than saving it in. So I agree with that, definitely. And we spoke a bit about obviously like the challenges. Do you think there's anything which the industry could do better for when it comes to hiring consultants? Obviously, we've already mentioned obviously bringing in juniors and when they can, independent and training people. Do you think there's anything which would make it better?
Yeah. I think, but when I sold my company, I was in a bigger company, and they had really a great hiring process. So there was all defined, and it was also in the company I've sold. There we had also we said, okay, if someone sends a job application for a job, we will answer him in 2 days, and we will if we get the answer back from the guy, we will offer him a meeting or a speech, a remote meeting or something after 2 days and something. And I think this hiring process, and we say that always very clear, or we said that always very clear. We said, okay, we are now at that stage, and the next thing what will happen is that, and after that, that and that will happen. So that the candidate always has the feeling, okay, we are now in that stage, and that will happen. So the feedback we have got about that was that is great. So I'm always informed, and what normally quite often happened, I've heard that, I've never experienced that by myself, is ghosting. Somebody, you cannot reach somebody after the first interview or something like that. And if you're clear in that way that you're doing, normally you avoid exactly that. And the candidates, I think that candidates had told me also, oh, that was very good. It was always very clear for me, and that made a good impression of the company to myself. That we always were in a very honest discussion always, and I think that is something what the companies have to have in mind. You should to give the candidate always a clear status and be honest.
Definitely, 100%. Because also, as much as they're interviewing candidates, like the candidate is also interviewing a company. So like the first impression they'll ever have is the interview process. I fully agree. Like there's nothing better for us, especially from our point of view, getting quick feedback, getting a nice, clear process that takes no more than 2-3 weeks. And also that, just as you said, like if that candidate's in 3 or 4 processes, which happens all the time, the company moves better, gives good feedback, that naturally just shows more interest. So yeah, it's good to hear that as well. just talking a bit about then obviously leadership. So you're obviously leading teams and have led teams before. What is your approach to leadership, and how do you try to sort of motivate and inspire your team, whether they're juniors or seniors, really?
It's nearby the same for me, to be honest and fair. That is something what, and that's what the people, the employees from our company always say about myself. And that's also what I want to have for team leaders. They have to be honest. If something is not working, they have to discuss that, and find a solution, and discuss it as early as possible. If something happens, you have to discuss it as soon as possible. Then you maybe can save something. If you have the feeling, for example, an employee wants to go to another company, and I normally go then to that employee and say to them, hey, I have the feeling you are not happy here. What is there, and something like that. I try to do that. That is something and fair. And what what I've seen also by different other companies is these people which we have in the companies, they are normally very, very intelligent. So, and I think you should handle them also as they are intelligent people. So sometimes the regulations in companies are so strict. And for many of these people, these intelligent people, they say, I miss some freedom of that they can decide they wanted to do in that way, or that way. And I try to give a lot of freedom to the people in my company. And normally, they don't use that for doing bad things or something. So it's not, they don't do it normally. So exactly. The opposite is the case. The results which I normally get in the when they work for a customer, they are really good. Yeah,
that's good. That's probably one of the top 3 things people ask for, is like autonomy, like trust, isn't it? Like not being micromanaged, not being able to make decisions themselves, and trusted to do the right thing. Everyone's here to do a job and do it well. So if you trust people to do that, that's normally the result, which is good. And for junior sides, what advice would you give to someone? We've already mentioned obviously a bit about investing in AI. Is there any advice you would give to someone just about to join the world of Dynamics, to find them and kind of kickstart them in their career almost?
It depends a little bit on the type of the candidate. If he's very good, very intelligent, and can learn very easy, then I think I would give the recommendation to go to a smaller company, because there he can learn ways more than in other positions. And the other candidates, I would give the recommendation, go to an academy, or go to a company who has an academy, because I've seen it by myself, because I've created there in the company I've together with the HR department, we have created this academy, and I've seen the outcome of this academy, and the outcome was really, really great.
Good. Perfect. Brilliant. And do you think there's any resources, networking events, anything which you think is worth them being a part of and joining? Obviously your own as well. But is there any others which kind of come to mind at all?
I think going to directions is not only for searching for a new job or something like that, but the feeling, the power you can feel there, that is something. And we see that quite often, and we hear that also from other company leaders. They say, oh, the people are so fascinated, and there you see that there are so many people are discussing about the same themes I discuss normally with some colleagues. That is quite good. But yes, going to some events, is quite good, and therefore we had created at Directions. We had created now Days of Knowledge, for example, and it has not to be Days of Knowledge. There are other things where you can go, but events like that are quite good because there you can learn the new stuff and what has changed over the years and something like that. So it's, for me, it's important to go to events, and quite often you say there are some remote events and something like that. Yes, it is okay, but I can see it now with my own experience. A remote event, if you get bored or something, you do something different, you look on different web pages or something like that. If you are in an on-site event, that is not so easy possible, and there you get the spirit and that feeling also in addition. So I would encourage everybody to go to many events, and it has not to be Directions events at all. So there are different events.
No, definitely. It's a great, like, obviously when you work, you're only surrounded by the people you work with and the industries that you work in. So obviously when you go to these events, as you said, like you'll meet with so many different people. There's so many things you can take away from it. The way they work, different products, as you said, it's just quite nice, isn't it? To get out of the office and meet people in the same industry and like learn from each other. So
same is doing networking. Try to contact other people which are doing the same in other companies. That is quite helpful, and so that is really important. Going to LinkedIn, there's some networking. Try to connect with the MVPs and something, so you get also newer stuff. So that all in all, you have to be active. The whole 100%. Time.
Definitely. And just to finish off, a few quick fire questions. So what do you think is one common misconception, get my words out, misconception about the industry, if there are any?
Yes, there is. we have right now, maybe it's better in the future, and I see it will getting better and better, but ways not that fast as promised. We always get told from many people, you don't have to adjust processes for customers. You can use the standard processes, and sometimes yes. And as I said, now in the Microsoft has done a great job to make that happen. That you can use the tool to very many companies in without changing processes. But if a company gets bigger and bigger and bigger, it's nearby impossible to change processes. So that's for me so common misunderstanding, because always the people saying, we need to roll out a project in 10 days, and it's working now. Before 20 years, it had not worked at all, but now it's working for companies with up to 50 users. So, but if the project gets bigger, that is not possible.
Okay, got you. And I think we've kind of answered this question already, but what's more important, technical or cultural? I think we've said already, haven't we, that team fit, you can't really train someone to fit in a team, but you can train technical skills. So I think you're probably fair to say you'd agree cultural fit is the more important for you.
Yeah. As I said, I think the culture which has somebody in himself or in themselves, that is not so easy changeable than the technical to learn technical skills. So I think that's for me very important. Yeah.
Perfect. If you could instantly learn a new skill, what do you think it would be? Anything. Doesn't have to be work.
I want to understand ways better how AI works, and not only just do prompting or something like that. No, I want to understand how this AI find these answers, and that is really difficult to find people. I tried now with some really experienced people, and at one point I said, I don't know how it's going. That would be a very interesting skill what I want to learn.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of, like, you see so much stuff about it out there, It's all quite surface level, isn't it? It doesn't really talk much about like the technical side of it.
Yeah,
And obviously,
yeah.
I imagine it's quite complex. So yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So what would your make or break factor be if you were ever looking for a new job? So what I mean by that would, what would be the one thing you just couldn't negotiate on? You know, it's got to be the right team, the right salary, the
Yeah,
right.
no, my freedom, my personal
Yeah.
freedom. That's my because if you let the company the last 25 years, you want to be able to decide at at any time what you're doing. So
Yeah.
and if I had to take a new job, or I say it always to my wife, if I retire from that what I'm doing now, I want to be a business angel or something like that. Just gives advices to somebody else and looking. So there I would have my freedom. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, perfect. That's definitely a topic which I hear a lot, because I think that we had loads of freedom after COVID, and then it started creeping back in, was everyone going into the office. So
Yeah.
I think people value that. People value that now massively, because you didn't have it before. People then had it. Now they don't want to lose it again. So it's fair enough. So, and last question: what is it's maybe quite a difficult one, but what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
The best piece of advice I've got in the last few years, where I was asked a question.
Okay.
And I was asked the question: are you more a project manager or a company leader? Mm-hmm. And I thought about that, and at that point, I was aware that I, since 3, 4, 5 years now, a company leader and no longer a project manager. So because there was as I said, it was not an advice, normal advice, but somebody asked me this question, and I started to think, what is more important in my role? Be a project manager or a company leader? And from that on, I changed my attitudes to be a company leader. Yeah.
Brilliant. Perfect. Good advice. Well, look, that's all the questions. So yeah, thank you very much, Frank. Appreciate your time. And yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you. It was nice
Lovely.
to talk with you. Yeah.
Yeah, likewise.